light and magical vibrations from the Tarot Guild and Rainbow Psychics. Thank you for tuning into Cosmic Coffee with Kooch. I'm your host, and our focus is on divination, oracles, finding metaphysical resources. If you know anyone who you'd like to have us interview, we invite you to send us your ideas, as our goal is to stir up a tasty soul brew of esoteria, especially for you. Also, I'm happy to announce that Dax Carlisle, president of the Tarot Guild and creator of Rainbow Psychics, is my awesome co-host. Every Wednesday at 1 p.m. California time, I'll be exploring topics to inspire the mystically minded. If you have questions, you can email them to our chat room or call 347-637-3372. Today the sun is sitting in the constellation Scorpio, and it's the day before Halloween, a very spectacular waning dark moon time. Looking into my crystal ball, I see a great fortune bubbling in our cauldron with psychics Alwyn L'hoir and Sierra Saducci. Oh, God, Sierra, what's your, just based on your last name, Sierra.
Sierra,
forgive me. They're going to be joining us to talk about spooky times. Hello, Sorceress of Fire and Sorceress of Water. Welcome to our Hall of Halamas and Ghost Divination Hour. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yay! I'm doing great, and I call you Sorceress of Fire, Alwyn, and I call you Sorceress of Water, Sierra, because I'm trying to bring in the elements, a little information about elements today as we kind of like spoof around with scary, witchy poo kind of stories. But who wants to tell us their story first? Is it Sierra?
You want a spooky story, or you want information about water?
Well, you feel so extraordinarily watery. Aren't you a Scorpio?
I'm a Scorpio.
When's your birthday?
On the 9th, and see, I'm in my Saturn return in Scorpio right now, and it's Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, so I'm just having a delightful time.
You're having a wonderful time. So can you tell us a little about your element, water, and whatever you'd like to share with us?
Well, sure. I mean, water is, in astrology, is a mixed sign, and it's very fluid. It's nurturing. It's also very emotional. It's for people who are also very sensitive, tend to be in a water sign. The negatives can be, you can be a little bit too emotional, a little too ungrounded, and the positives are it can be just launching you through with speed into those realms that are not of these realms. As you all know, most of our body is water. So we are really water-based creatures. And in Native American traditions, water is life. If we don't have water, we don't live. And the planet is practically, I don't have the statistics, but 2/3 based on water. And right now,
it's a very precious commodity.
Pardon me?
It's a very precious commodity.
It is, and they call it the mother because, we can go without food and live on water for, I think, up to 10 days, but you can't go without water more than 2 days. So water is this nurturing element. It's connected with the ocean. The ocean is connected with the moon, and the tides and the flows affect us, especially as women. The tides of the ocean and the moon cycles really affect our emotions, and when women get together as one, we notice that our moon cycles or our menstrual cycles all start to come at the same time. So there's a lot of power behind water.
Oh, and you being a fire sign, what is your take on being the opposite, being fire?
Blessings, blessings, blessings to the water. Blessings to the bright water, the running water. Blessings to the clear water. Blessings to the water for all the peoples.
Yes.
And what if it's ice? What if it's in the form of ice? What would we do?
When in danger or in doubt, run in circles, scream and shout. The downside of fire.
Well, fire will melt the ice.
It depends how big the ice sheet is.
Or global warming, and that's a big fire. We'll melt the ice.
What fire is balance. And fire and water, at their best, are steam. And in the steam comes the visions and the healing and the cleansing and the purity of the rain that follows.
I'd like a steam bath right now. How about you, Dax?
Yes, that would be nice.
It would, wouldn't it? Let's have an imaginary one, shall we?
Well, I've got my coffee, so I'm at least, satisfied.
Excellent. Well, so my
hey, Dax, you're going to bring in the element air, being an air sign, being the Gemini. You bring in air. So can you give us a little spin on your connection with air? My
connection with air?
The element air, because air rules Gemini, and you're a Gemini.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely an airy sign. I'm not an astrologer, though. I'm a numerologist, and I use the elements in tarot, and so I have a good grasp on the elements, but not from like an astrological point of view.
Number five.
That's how I see Mercury as number 5. But how about you, Dax? What number corresponds with Mercury for you?
Oh, definitely not a number 5. Otherwise, I'd be having a lot more fun.
I'm glad I used that system. I see Mercury as fine in my system, my numeric system, but.
Well, I can see why, because it's fast moving and intellectual and speedy thoughts and lots of thoughts and multitasking, and that's why Mercury rules Gemini. It makes perfect sense to me, But that's the only thing I know in astrology, because I've looked at my own stuff, but not anybody else's, unless I'm dating them. Like, for instance, I'm dating a Scorpio right now. Oh, my God, I'm in so much trouble.
Oh, I can tell you all about that.
You got to fill me in. But, my surrounding numbers have always been like 6, because that, my life path is a 33-6. I'm actually a master number 33, which you're not supposed to reduce, but I'm a 6, and, the 6th card in tarot, the Lover's card, is also the card that's associated with Gemini. I get a lot of 6 energy, which is the nurturing energy, and 6 is a multiple of 3, and all the 3s, 6s, and 9s in numerology are all about creativity and communication. That's why I'm always creating new things. I'm the big idea man. In fact, I'm the idea man on steroids, because I'm a Gemini as well, which is also an idea man, with the Mercury as well. And
now I can understand you better now that I know you're like on steroids, Dax.
Exactly, and that's why I do all these radio shows and big websites and communication. Facebook, Twitter. I'm an expert in social media, and that's why, because it's just my natural flow of things, as it were.
Well, let's go back to who was saying that they could talk about Scorpio energy with air. Was that you, Alwyn?
Oh, no.
So I was saying, because I'm a Scorpio, I can give him ideas about Scorpio personalities. There's actually 3 levels to Scorpio, the lower level being the Scorpion, who likes to sting and be very negative and get back and vindictive. And the second level is the snake, more involved and evolving up. But the third level is the eagle or the phoenix, who can rise out of the ashes and become this incredible, strong, powerful being. So where in those 3 things do you think your friend is?
Okay, I missed the second one. What was the second one? Okay, so the first one is like, with the stinger.
Yeah,
and the second one is like
lower level, kind of very vindictive or, negative. And the second one is the snake, so evolving upwards. And
where's the ghost?
It goes to phoenix or eagle.
It's Halloween. Here come the ghosts.
Oh, ghosts.
Air, kind of water, little fire.
Wait,
I'm seeing a phantom right now as we speak.
Is it a good phantom or a bad phantom?
I think we're talking more of a Phoenix-type personality.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's very, very, very good. You'll be able to communicate with him. You will be able to communicate with him.
We do communicate really well.
But he's intense, very intense, and moody.
But a good lover.
And I'm starting to do a reading now. So I'm also an intuitive and a medium, and I'm just getting a big pickup on Dax's friend. And
don't forget drama queen. Scorpios do drama queen.
He's moody, and he likes drama because he's a Scorpio, and they're very intense. And step back a little bit, because air people are like, what? Where's all this verbiage and all this drama? So don't take all of the drama personally. It's just part of the theatrics of the illusion.
Well, you know, we haven't had any drama, but it's been like really intense affection.
Well, and they're also very strong sexually, passionate.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah. It's one of the bigger signs. For you, it's one of the bigger signs of sexuality, is Scorpio.
Does that
but
mean
it's also the sign of death, and that's why you'll find a lot of Scorpios may be mediums, which leads us into Halloween and Los Días de la Muertes, the Day of the Dead, and Samhain, which is the original, the real October 30th, 31st, the new year coming in.
All Saints Day and Day of the Dead?
Yes,
I think All Saints Day is like the first and Day of the Dead is the second.
And then the third is the Dia de los Inocentes.
You know, we were talking about this.
The rebirth.
We were talking about this on Monday's show, on Angels Monday, about the whole thinning of the veil and all that kind of stuff like that. I'm not so sure I really buy into that. Because
I do. This is
you could.
Well, I want to. Well, hold on.
I get the most messages from people who have crossed over or see them, or they come right through. I know it's true.
I want to ask you guys about that because I want to get your opinion on that. We kind of analyzed it a little bit on Monday.
You can't.
And so this will be a fun thing to talk about. Because my research into it and going back over, the centuries and how it all started and everything like that, and, the Pope deciding there was going to be an All Saints Day, most of it is contrived and created. It's not a particular, it's not like because something was happening on this time of year or day that then things were ascribed to it. It was just done, and then the what happened from it came after. And so,
Not true. Not with Los Días de la Muerte. That goes way back to the Mayan and the Aztec.
Yeah,
and it's the midpoint between autumn equinox and winter solstice. And in pagan times, it was like a great time of celebration because it was time that, they brought in all their harvest, and it was like right before it started getting so dark that the only thing they could do would be stay indoors and make love all day.
If you look at the Pope like a political overlay on what the peasants celebrated as a matter of course, or the passing of nature, you may understand the schism that happened between the political culture and the real one.
Well, they were trying to adapt to everything. I mean, that's how come we ended up with Christmas, and that's how come we ended up with Easter being on the day it's on, and it all was relating to what the pagans were doing, not that it had anything to do with Christianity,
Well, can we talk about what we're doing today?
Trick or treat!
Let's talk about that.
In the passing of the seasons, before the new year starts, the way was open for us to give thanks for the blessing of our ancestors and the fire of their spirit that continues and the love that still burns and resounds. So when we approach what people call the thinning of the veils, it's a way for us to open our hearts to our dear departed, those we've loved and who have passed beyond the veil and that we shan't see again. And it's also to receive their blessings back. it coincided with the path of the butterflies through the Mayan capital, and they opened their hearts to the butterflies coming back through because they knew that these were the spirits of their ancestors come again. So at this time of year, we build our altars, my grandpa, Bernice, the teachers, the musical luminaries that have passed on in the last year, and we thank them for their blessings, and we thank them for the magnetic, fiery, driven, creative presence in our lives. And we also make our resolve to bring their gifts forward in service to our biosphere here. And it ends, of course, with our Dia de los Inocentes, which is the Day of the Children, which is, what we do it all for. So it's a wonderful holiday and a course through, the veils at this time of year. We're going into the dark, so we do it well, and we bring our burning brands with us, and that's fire.
Ooh, I love your fire, Alwyn.
Yeah, I love your earth.
My moon is an earth, so I can represent earth really well because it's the only thing that grounds me. Like when I do lots of readings, I can usually make my way back to the planet because I've got this tie to the earth via my moon being in Capricorn. But earth brings to this season, putting away the harvest and starting to plant the, like looking at what we've planted so that we can be sprouting seeds that will bear, they'll come out from dormancy next spring. So now's a kind of a time of looking at what are we putting underground into the earth. And that, in a way, is like what is our intention for what we want to manifest in the coming new season and beyond. So I think it's a really good time to be really looking at our intentions and getting more clarity about the winter that's coming and the winter of our own lives. It's like, how do we see ourselves in the future, and what are we doing? How can we visualize? How can we be putting more positive energy into our words so that they're stronger, have more emotional energy that can take us to the positive path of greater enlightenment and more connection with spirit, and our ability to do divination or the tarot or whatever we're trying to do in the metaphysical world.
And it's manifestation and flowering where we live. Yes, yes.
We like that a lot. And even the manifestation of friendships and connections.
Yes,
it doesn't have to be material. And I have a story. I thought it'd be really fun to talk about stories. And one of my stories involved Sierra, who is on...
excellent.
Who's there. Sierra and I did a party gig a number of years ago, and during the break I went up, and we had like a mutual break, and I went up to Sierra, and she said, and she was doing mediumship readings. I was doing tarot readings, but Sierra comes up to me and she goes, "Oh, and there's this old woman sitting over your shoulder, and she wants me to give you a message." And I look at and in my mind I'm going, "Oh, yeah, Sierra, like this is a break time." And I can't believe it. There's like some part of me, like I'm just like totally so far out of it. I can't believe it's really happening. But and then she goes and she starts talking about this thing and that thing and another thing. And she goes, "Oh, and to make sure that you know that it's really her, she wants me to tell you that she's really happy you're wearing her necklace tonight." And this is like a true story. I swear to God, it almost freaked me out totally because I was wearing a friend of mine's necklace who she gave it to me before she died because she wanted me to have this necklace. It was like an Egyptian motif of the of eternal life. And I'm like, oh my God, Sierra, she's really talking to this woman because she just gave me a message. Because how else would this woman know that I was wearing her necklace? I mean, who else would know?
Oh, that's fabulous. What a wonderful story.
Yeah, they popped in. I was talking to someone yesterday, and all of a sudden she was asking about a dear friend of hers, and the woman came through, and I start talking broken Japanese. And it turned out the woman was Japanese and had an accent, and sometimes I'll take on the persona or the sound of their voice or the cadence of the way they talk, and sometimes it's just a straight like message coming through.
Well, that's a great medium.
So spooky.
Very well, not really. It's very strong. I also see when children are missing what has happened to them, or relaying that to the FBI or the police. But you have to be very grounded when you do this work, and you have to know a lot about letting go of the spirit and letting them also return to the other side and not stay connected to the earth. And that's why when I go to houses that are haunted or places that are spirit connected, the goal is not to just look at it. The goal is to let them go. One lady told me, "Oh, I have 2 ghosts in my house," and I said, "They are not pets." "Well, I don't know why they're nice stuff." I said, "No, you can't keep them. You know, you have to let them go to their spirit journey." So, any of you out there thinking you're having a wonderful spirit in your house, please tell them that they're gone now. They're on the other side. They're an illusion, and that they have family and loved ones waiting for them. And then there's the nasty spirits that know they're dead and don't care, and they want to stay here and wreak havoc.
I met one of those when I was just 18, fresh out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the...
young kitty things.
Yeah, little kitty thing. Just, fresh from Orange County High School. I had a, mostly sheltered life. And I found myself in Colorado Springs. And my husband at the time was in the Air Force Academy marching band. And we all shared a house, and what was a new tract home, so I didn't really understand it. But when I walked into the house, there was just something odd about it. I mean, down to the paint job, and it was, the house architecturally was set up as a spiral from the basement to the top. Kind of a, now that I look at it, kind of like a fractal design. And whatever it tapped into was odd. And it started out with little tappings in the walls that you would think could be a rat, except it's like a whirlwind going round and round, that, like that. In the basement, crossing the door in a circle around you. With 3 of us in the room, that was odd. And then it progressed to sightings and visitations, and my girlfriend, who was also there, came home and thought it was her boyfriend going up the stairs, and she followed him up the stairs, and nothing was there. And then one day we were getting ready to go, and above us we heard this kind of like that. And there was nobody there but us. So it was my job to, guard the house during the day while the boys were off at war, and do the housekeeping. And I used to seal myself into this little corner and let the ghost have the rest of the house till the boys got home, because I was young. I mean, knowing what I know today, I'd have done it differently, mind you. And then that cheeky ghost crawled in bed with me one night. Coldest fingers you ever felt.
Oh, yeah.
And on Halloween, we had electric burners, and all the boys had left, and everything was off, and I came back into the kitchen, and all the electric burners were set on high, and they were all blazing. And then it liked noise, like it had the emotional body of a thwarted 7-year-old, and it liked noise, maybe 3. And it would change the cycle on the dishwasher, the pots and pans, because it made the most noise and wreaked the most havoc. And it played hell with people emotionally in that house. It was not a kind ghost. And
No.
It hurt people. And upshot of that was it started me on a lifelong quest of learning. And, that's the good that came out of it. But that was one spooky ghost, man. I was scared. I still don't go to horror movies. I don't need to.
I don't like horror movies either, because I've seen the real thing. I grew up in a haunted house, and ever since I was born, I could feel the energies in that house. They would talk about me. They couldn't leave me in my crib because I would start screaming if anybody left the room, because there was something in that room. There was actually something in the entire house. There was many layers of things in that house, and it was not good energy. And sometimes the energy can be old, like it predates the house. It predates it could have been, I still can't figure out to this day who it is that's there or what it is, but it's very evil, very malevolent. And my mother would talk about her experiences. My sister talked about when she was 4, we had a basement. I hate basements, but they had long, steep stairs to go down. She said she was standing at the top of the stairs, and all of a sudden somebody, and she wanted to be at the bottom. She was just going to go walk down, and all of a sudden she just was lifted up in the air and kind of levitated down the stairs and was placed at the bottom. Now, at the bottom of the stairs, there was this door, a very heavy concrete door that led to the dirt section of the basement, and that was the worst part of the basement. Something resided there, and you could feel it as soon as you walked by that door. I could see it. I could feel it watching me, following me through the basement, even watching out the windows when I was in the backyard. And I had a really hard time with it. There'd be times when I could hear somebody calling my name, and I would go towards the sound and realize that they were leading me towards the basement area. And so I didn't like being down there. Tried not to be down there by myself because it was not a good feeling. I'd have to run through the house, flipping on the lights. I could not just walk into a room. And at night, my mother eventually put locks on all of the basement doors and kind of locked us in. And you could hear steps coming up those basement stairs, like bam, 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 and there was nobody else in the house. And then you could hear stuff downstairs in the basement just falling all over the place. And then the next day there was nothing down there that had fallen. Then the piano in the living room would start playing like about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And you'd hear...
Didn't want to move, huh?
Well, I was feeling it more than most of them. So I would wake up or see these things or hear these things, and she'd feel some of it. My sister, no, nothing whatsoever. She thought we were all nuts.
Isn't it odd how some people just don't see it and other people do?
Yeah, no, I had the gift of mediumship, so I was able to really, and they kind of globbed onto me. She didn't get anything. And my mother and I did. And one time as a child, I was standing on the back porch, and the door swung open and knocked me all the way down the stairs. And it was not a nice being. One time I woke up and I was sleeping in my mother's bed with my mother because I didn't like to be alone in this house ever since I was a child. And I heard growling in the doorway of the bedroom. I mean, a dog growling, really growling. And I thought, well, it's the neighbors had dogs next door. So I didn't pay attention, but it was loud. It was right next to the bed. And I thought, what the hell? And so I opened my eyes, and I swear to God, there was a huge wolf with green-colored eyes snarling at me in the doorway. And I thought...
Did you ask it what it wanted?
I wasn't that sophisticated at that age. I'm just pinching myself going, close your eyes, it'll go away, close your eyes, it'll go away, and it kept snarling and growling. And all of a sudden my mother said, what's that dog doing in the house? And she wasn't really awake. And I thought, holy shit, sorry. She's seeing it too. It's not just me, because everybody told me I was weird. I would see all this stuff in the house, and they said, oh, you're just imagining things. You've got a vivid imagination.
That's where they do children a disservice.
Yes, that's why I try to tell people, listen to your children when they're very young, what they tell you. They'll either be telling you about lives they've led before or things that they are seeing, and pay attention. They may be a sensitive, and they're born a sensitive, so they'll see things easier and more often, and they're scared. That was a very frightening house to live in, and when my father died...
Well, something was very scared there, that's for sure.
It hated us. It hated us with a passion. When my father passed away unexpectedly, for 3 nights in a row after he died, I would wake up exactly at the same time, and I would see this huge thing that looked like a combination of Sasquatch and fangs coming out of its face and huge long claws, and it was all furry, and it was looming over me. And my little nephew was sleeping with me, and I was like, okay, I didn't see that. And I'd turn away, and then I'd look again, and there it was. For 3 nights in a row, that thing was looming over me after my father's death. I don't know if it had any correlation with my father's death, but it must have. And his rocking chair, his chair would rock. And like I said, it would try to get me a lot. And then all of a sudden, as an adult, I had to move back into the house with my husband and live there. And we had pets, and things started to get churned up again. And our poor dog just started to look very ragged. She didn't want to go in the backyard anymore. She didn't want to go down in the basement at all, downstairs. And she kept hovering by us. And she wasn't looking good. So that was enough. And I'd gone to somebody who knew about Yorisha or Yoruba medicine, and they told me stuff to do from that tradition because he said this was a very strong negative spirit. So I'm doing that in the house, all of this stuff, trying to get rid of it. And the dog is getting waner and thinner, and nothing was working. So I was in the shower, and I said out loud, okay, let's make a deal. I'm not going to try to get rid of you anymore. If you promise to leave my pets alone, leave the animals alone, let them be free to roam around the house and the outside and not be frightened by you, and leave me alone. And you can stay here, and I won't try to banish you. And all of a sudden, this razor blade came flying at my feet and just missed me. And from that day on, the dog and all of the animals were fine, but I could sense it, but it was like being contained. So I had made a pact with it, and as long as I lived there, it wanted to hurt you. And then we wanted to sell the house, so 2 real estate agents came in the house, and one was this white guy, and the second person was a woman from East India, very sweet, very bubbly. And she starts walking through the house, and he's just walking through, oh, yeah, we need to do this. This is great. This is wonderful. And she stops dead before the basement door. And he's going, let's go down to the basement. And I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me, and I go, you get it, don't you? She goes, yeah, I'm not going down there. And the guy goes down there. Nothing, She goes, I have to get out of here. I have to go into the other room. And I said, what is it you pick up? She said, this is very bad here. She says, it's like The Shining. There's layers upon layers of things here. She said, come to my office. I will talk to you more about it, but I cannot stay in this house another minute. And not that he was white, but he was very pale. He was just, it didn't affect him whatsoever. So you can see the difference between when you are sensitive to things and you're not,
Well, what you said about agreement is key, because they will keep agreement.
Oh, it did. I mean, I was grateful because my dog was dying. It was literally not doing well because of the spirit draining it. And
knowing, see, this is important. Knowing that they keep agreement is the best protection that people have. Because I don't want people to come out of this being horrified. Oh my God, what do I do?
No. Yes.
I could easily have said, you stay in that corner and I'll keep the rest of the house, but I don't need too much space. But they will keep agreement, and eventually it's between them and God at that point, how long it takes them to come out or whatever it is.
And sometimes they're not even, sometimes they're elementals, so they're not a spirit of a human being. They're from another element. They're from another plane of energy. Sometimes in houses that I've been in to investigate, it's energy that keeps repeating. So it's not even a spirit that's active. If something violent happened in the house, you'll get that feeling, you'll see that activity recreated, but there's nothing behind it. You need to just clear it.
It's like an energy pattern that's kind of, stuck there. By the way, real quick, I want to invite other people to call in and maybe give us some ghost stories or Spirit Stories, 347-637-3372. And we have a phone call.
Oh, let's take it.
Let's take the phone call, see who's there. Area code 856, are you there?
Hello?
Hi, who's there?
Hi, Rose Maria.
Hi, Maria. Where are you calling in from?
Jersey.
Great. So what would you like to chat with us about today?
Whatever you can pick up or whatever spirits can pick up for a long-term relationship for me, or whatever you can pick up, whatever is easiest.
You're asking about a reading, or you're asking about both?
Reading.
Or I do see spirits around me, so that's kind of weird for me.
Yeah.
Not weird in a way, but it's a good way for me.
Are they that you recognize? Are they like ancestors or people you recognize?
My grandmother.
Yeah.
Somebody's close to me. So.
Yeah, you're very protected by your grandmother to stay close to you. She's saying be very careful with the things that you put into your body, and you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to take better care of yourself. Do you like to do art, and somebody discouraged you from doing art?
Never was into art.
Okay. I'm getting something about art, whether it's this grandmother or creativity and music. I'm hearing music around you. What do you currently do?
I'm an IT person.
Okay.
Well, I'm just generally...
Go ahead.
Just generally right now, astrologically, it's really hard on relationships because our conception of our most cherished ego points are being challenged. And so people are tending to be really, really cranky with each other. And it takes, a high degree of tolerance and or compatibility between couples right now to weather this gap. So the best advice I heard about times being what they are is to take nothing personally right now, least of all yourself. So relationship-wise, just let things be for a while. Let them develop, let them be what they are, and clear your decks.
Or if you're not in a relationship, to just kind of like be into developing more of an inner connection with your soul, your inner self, go deeper into who you are. And then at the right time, a relationship will be there, and you'll have more of a sense of who you are.
Yeah, there's a gap between the one I'm interested in. So it's like going back for the last week for something I'm trying to do. And it's like Kenny going crazy. Like you said, cranky. And I kind of figured he was kind of cranky last night. So I'm like, that's weird that you picked that up. But like when he closes off his phone, that means either he doesn't want to talk or he's cranky or something. It could be either one.
It's Mercury retrograde. People are going to be cranky.
He always does this.
One of my young male friends described it to me like this. When man go into man cave, if you follow him in, you're bad. I will talk to you about it.
It's your problem if you follow a man into the man cave.
It's the man cave. So let him get out of the man cave however long it takes. It's man's business. It's not women's business right now.
True, and when he does that, I get mad at him, and I'm like, I'm still going off on him, and I just, text him, like, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Try and watch the text. They'll get you into trouble. Man cave means even, no text. Just let him simmer, and, he'll work it out, and then eventually we'll all get to be friends again, I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Friends and lovers. But I got the Magician card and the Queen of Wands as you were talking, Maria. So I think it's just, kind of exchanging your energy in a harmonious way when it's possible, and just knowing you've got a good connection, even when sometimes people might be a little cranky with one another. But we're going to go to another caller right now. So thank you, Maria. Good luck and happy Halloween.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, we've got another caller, so we're riding this wave. Hi, area code 302.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Taria.
Hi. Taria. Do you have a question for Alwyn or Sierra?
I do. You just answered one of my questions because my personal relationship is kind of like it's in that cranky zone. So you answered that.
Oh, we like it when that happens.
We know we were talking to you too.
My career is kind of like in a weird zone right now, and I can't figure out. I want to start my own business, and I have the opportunity to start it up in a new location, and I'm a little worried about the people in that location. So I'm wondering if I should take their invitation or if I should start where I am.
I get you should start where you are.
Go.
Sorry, that was me, Sierra. I get you should start where you are and build it up.
Okay.
I got pause and consider the location after Mercury goes direct because you'll have all the information you need at that point.
Okay.
Are you opening something similar to like a boutique or clothing store boutique?
No, I'm a reflexologist, so I do reflexology and I do herbal body wraps and quantum touch.
I pulled a card that indicates you need to do more positive promotion and really key into your confidence to put out the word more. And as Alwyn said, it is Mercury retrograde, so maybe it's just a good time to really set your intentions and get more clear how to design your promotional plan. But I just get a real strong hit that it's all about promotion. And what do you want to promote? And how to streamline it so you're not getting spread too thin, but you're more focused on what you really know you can get out there and really put a lot of energy into doing it really well, so that you're developing some key skills that are really going to help other people, and that'll help build your reputation.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Maybe I should follow that advice myself.
Well, Mercury is retrograde. Advice spreads.
When does it go out? It goes out November 10th?
Not soon enough for me.
Yeah, no, I know.
Go look it up.
We only have one more eclipse to go through before then. So it's really an important time for putting things kind of under what's going on under the surface is really important. So don't
retrograde
neglect your
in
inner
November
self
10th?
and taking care of your inner self and looking at how to really put a lot of good intentions out there in a positive framework.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, you've already started.
Important.
You're wanting to move your business, or you're wanting to expand it and do it, and so hold that intent and do the research, like they've been saying. Build up your advertising, your marketing, your website, and maybe there's something you can also add a little bit in there that you haven't thought of, and then start implementing it after Mercury goes direct.
And when is that? Is that in November?
I'm pretty sure it's the 10th. Let me just look quickly at my calendar. I always write it down because I like to be aware. It's the 10th. Mercury goes direct on November 10th.
Okay.
So that gives you a good time to just kind of really be in your space with who you are, what you want to represent, how you want people to see you, and what you want to attract in for your business.
Right. Okay.
The eclipse on the 3rd is also key, because what's being purified during this eclipse is the best intentions of our heart. And if the heart energy that you use in your healing and in your work with people is, it's like a record in the groove. If you line up in the proper space, moving forward, things just open out in a wonderful way.
Oh, okay.
So that's the 4th of November. So set up your altar, set your intent, purify what needs to be purified, cleave to your heart's best and the best for the heart of humanity, and move forward.
Okay. And sometimes you find out more the truth of that by looking inward and doing some meditating and some quiet time, because those answers aren't going to come from outside. They're going to come from within yourself.
Right. Okay.
And also, as we talk about Samhain and the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle, look at some of the things you use for your equipment or I feel like you need to either cleanse them or, get them spruced up a little bit or add a few things to what you have.
Wow. I just did a client last week, and they actually broke my equipment.
Yeah.
And I had to charge them for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting, hon, is that this is a really good time for you to really kind of, take stock of what you have, what you need, and the things you do have. Make sure they're in good working order or, clear them, and it's going to be much better after the 10th.
Okay.
The client broke your equipment?
Yeah, I'm mobile, so I can travel. I offer my services in a mobile aspect, so I can go to anyone, and I have a reclinable chair. And I guess he sat in it wrong and totally destroyed it. So I had to charge them for a new chair. But
they were it. Oh my God.
Yeah, they're very excited, to spread the word about my business and everything. But I don't know if they still are. I don't know if they're a little salty about me having to charge them or not. I haven't heard anything yet.
They may feel invested in it now.
Okay.
Well, that's putting it in a positive light.
Well, and now it's time to do research on getting a new one that may have even more or better style than you had before.
Yes, I did. I called the company and I found a replacement, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, because your client should not be able to break your chairs. That's just wrong.
Right.
Well, on that positive note, we're going to let you go, and good luck with your clients and your business, and happy Halloween.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Ciao, Bella.
Hey, Alwyn and Sierra, why don't you let people know how they can get a hold of you if they'd be interested in contacting you for readings or events, or you can tell people your website and how they can get a hold of you. Who's first?
BlueMoonPerfumes.com.
Okay, could you say that one more time, Alwyn?
Sure. BlueMoonPerfume.com. Perfume for the body, perfume for the soul, and there's a link for contact or consultation.
Okay, I'm Sierra Suraci, and you can go to Facebook and put in Sierra Suraci, or you can contact me if you have a pen, 415-383-1933. I also do past life hypnosis, regressions, and healings.
And both of these women are very, very experienced and very good at what they do. So I just feel really lucky that we can pick their brains a little bit today. So thank you, Alwyn and Sierra.
And Jack.
Yeah, it's a fun day.
So what are you going to be doing on Halloween night? What kind of spooky stuff are you all do?
I already had my Halloween. I got to play Snow White's witch in a haunted house. I'm kind of Halloweened out already. I'm going to get your apple, my dear. That sounds like you're a little witchy. Yes.
Open the door on the mountain for the departed and honoring the ancestors and welcoming the new coming in.
Oh, yes, I'll be doing the altar as well. Thank you, Owen, for reminding us. Dax, what are you doing? You going to be with your guy friend?
Say what now?
Dax, are you going to be partying? What are you doing?
Oh my
Dax
gosh.
is taking, I don't know, but I'm going to see if you can, tell me if you can hear this music. This is something Alwyn's just done for our show.
Kind of muffled.
The sound quality is not great.
Could you hear that? Hello?
It was kind of muffled. It was too muffled.
Oh, darn it, because that's Alwyn singing Alwyn, well, I don't know. Alwyn, why don't you tell us?
It's a song that I wrote at this time of year. It's a passing song, a silent song. And it's to the departed, and in this case, it was the trees that were laying to rest in the seasonal cycles. And it's played for people who are passing on or people that we remember. So,
well, I can tell people that the link is on my Facebook page, and it's also on Alwyn's Facebook page, and we have it on a link in our chat room right now. If you can go to our chat room, you can get the link to play it. It's really beautiful.
I'd like to encourage all the listeners out there that this really is a very special time of the year. It has a lot of energy to it, different energy. Take some time, take some quality time to either set down your intents for the rest of the year and think about that, write that down. Take some quality time, go inside yourself, and also reflect on those that came before you and the gifts and the love that they gave you, and also love Mother Earth, and think about blessings to this earth right now. She really needs it.
And thanks to a creator that holds us all.
And go out and watch The Gremlins again. It's a funny movie.
Oh, that's a good one.
Was that the Stephen, oh, God, I've forgotten his name, the famous director, the Jewish one.
Tim Burton? The Night Before?
No, I'm looking for the director's name. He did Schindler's List as well. Well, anyway, he did this, I think it was Gremlins, where the Gremlins sound like little babies, like they coo. Did you guys hear that?
They do, yeah, and they had those, what do you call it? They had those animatronic dolls that came out, for Halloween.
Okay. Well, that sound, that everybody found was so charming. When my son was born, he sang just like that, and I said, I bet he recorded his kids singing that.
Yeah, it was 1984. It was directed by Joe Dante and written by Chris Columbus.
We're not talking about the same show.
No, this is Gremlins, the funny one.
With Gizmo?
With Gizmo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were out last night, and they were playing it on the screens out at the club, and it was just, I haven't seen it since 1984. I was out of high school by now. That's how old I am. But this Halloween, every Halloween is my partner's birthday, and it's his 40th birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Aww, happy birthday.
Yeah, so we're going to be out celebrating his birthday.
Well, I hope you don't run into any ghosts or anything.
Oh, I hope we do.
Yeah, no.
We're in that district.
I
Quite
like
the party, I heard.
Oh, my gosh.
He's got a hangover already, I know.
I bet,
so
no doubt.
What are you all dressing up for Halloween?
I'm dressing up as someone in their slouchy pajamas and slippers staying warm with their cats.
There you go.
That is really terrific.
Yeah, and of course, Kooch doesn't have to put on a costume because she wears a costume all year. And
that's right, Dax. I can go as myself and people think I'm in costume.
Who else? Who else? Anybody else dressing up?
I have 2 black cats, so I'm all set.
Oh. Well, I think that Doug and I are going as, okay, I'm going to dress up as a monk, and he's going to dress up as a nun in habit, and I'm going to have a dog chain around his neck and a leash.
Oh, man, that sounds really wicked.
The perpetual devotion, like that kind of nun, or a regular nun?
Regular nun, although, I can give him the sacred right of perpetual indulgence.
Yes, give him a little tweak there. I think that looks great.
Oh, God.
Sounds like you're going to have too much fun.
Sounds like fun.
It's like too much fun.
I'll be giving out poison
What's the best Halloween party you've ever been to?
The one in the Castro.
Yes, me too.
Tell us why.
Just
what
thousands of fabulous people dressed in all all kinds of different costumes and parading about and strutting and having a wonderful time.
You know what was fun about the Castro when I lived in the Castro was they would block off 18th and Castro, for like a block each way. And it was a giant outdoor block party. I mean, the bars had their windows open. They were handing the drinks out the window. It was like Bourbon Street. You felt like you were in New Orleans. It was fantastic. I lived there 3 years, and I went to it each year, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah, I used to work as staff for the musician stage. It was so great. People were so in such great moods. And some of those costumes were just unbelievable.
The best of the best costumes.
Yeah.
I hate it when they look better in dresses than I do, though. It's just so disheartening.
Or they have sexier legs.
I know, isn't that disgusting? I hate when they have better.
I went to a party last week, and there's this man, and he's in fishnet stockings and a short black skirt. I mean, I guess he was a woman, but it was a he, and I mean, his butt and his legs were so hot. I'm going, oh my God, how come this dude looks so much hotter in his fishnet stockings than I do? It's not fair.
Oh, I like clubs to take you to in San Francisco where you'll see some really beautiful men and women, just incredible bodies.
Well, really hot bodies.
I don't want to look at hot bodies. I just get jealous, and then I'd get hungry. And
oh, heaven forbid!
I get hungry.
Hungry.
And then I'd be in the realm of hungry ghosts, and then what would I be? So.
Pretty spooky or spooktacular.
Spooktacular. We're in the Bardos, right?
Spooktacular. Yeah.
Oh, next time I'm ever on, I'll have to tell about the time I was in the hell realms during 9/11.
Oh, can you do that?
Next time, I had predicted 9/11, and when it was happening, I was there, and they call it the hell realms experiencing it. That was not.
Did you get a tower card? Everybody wants to know.
I don't do tarot. I get information from my council and my elders, and they told me for a long time they were telling me there was going to be a huge disaster and chaos in Manhattan, New York, worse than anything ever seen in the United States, where they said, I thought it was going to be an earthquake because they kept saying skyscrapers will be falling like giant redwood trees.
3 days before it happened, I saw the city center in rubble, and that was as close as I got. Bless you, sister, for being there and holding it together.
Thank you. Well, being there while it was happening in that space was very terrifying, and then when I saw it, as everybody, it was still a shock.
Still terrifying, even more so.
Shock and awe. Shock and awe. That's what it's all about.
People that are tarot readers, so many of them got the tower card around that time.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Oh, yeah, tons. But the vast majority of them had no clue why they kept the tower card kept popping up in readings.
Yeah, and I had no idea it was going to be I thought it was going to be a natural disaster.
Yeah, that happens when the big earthquakes come. Everybody will all of a sudden get the tower card. I used to do a 12-month spread, and I forget what month. Was it September or October when the big one was in San Francisco? And they all got the tower card during that month, and I said, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's going to be a doozy.
It's going to be a doozy.
Hey, I hope everybody has a heck of a great, wonderful doozy Halloween, and we're coming to the top of the hour, so I would love it if Alwyn, if you would tell people how to get a hold of you one more time, and Sierra, also you.
Okay, Blue Moon Perfume is on Facebook, Blue Moon Perfume Facebook, and also .com. There's contact information there. I don't advertise my readings per se, but they can be had. And that's that. Sierra, over to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I give out my phone number. It's 415-383-1933, and my computer crashed. Thank you, Mercury Retrograde. But you all can go to Sierra Suraci, Suraci on Facebook, and leave me a friend request.
Will do.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Kooch and Dax, for having us on such an auspicious day, the day before my favorite holiday, my favorite day of the year.
It was so much fun.
It is such a fun time, and I know both of you, and I know you both to be really fun-loving, incredible psychics. So I thought, what's better than to just see what we can come up with in relation to Halloween? And it's been great talking with both of you. And I want to give
been wonderful.
Yes, it's been really fun for me, and I want to just thank our audience for hanging in there with us and sending you the best for your Halloween celebration and love and light, and tell you that next Wednesday, Dax is going to be interviewing Sally Rose River Robinson, who has just put out a tarot podcast and runs the tarot media company for Anastasia. She's got lots of good information. Kooch is going to be on a spiritual sojourn for the next month, and Dax is going to be running the show. So just know that I'm thinking of you from afar and sending you really good energy. And Dax, what are your announcements?
Well, first of all, I want to say have a great time in India. Kooch gets to go to India.
Oh, my God. I'm getting nervous. But
I'm see you, Naughty. I'll see you when I do.
You know, Kooch, when you come back, I'm going to have to interview you about your trip.
It's going to be a spiritual sojourn, and we're going to lots of gurus and sadhus, and that's kind of like the essence of the trip, so it should be pretty interesting.
Fabulous, fabulous. And while Kooch is away, I get to play, and what we're going to do is a series of interviews where we're going to have on other hosts of radio shows that are either they're tarot shows or metaphysics or divination or something along those lines, and they're all hosts of podcasts or radio shows. And we're going to have them on all through November till Kooch comes back, and it'll be a lot of fun. We've got Janet Boyer, we've got Christiana Gaudet. Who did you just mention?
Sally Rose Rivers Robinson.
Yeah.
You'll have a lot of, she's a wonderful, wonderful person. You'll have a lot of fun picking her brain and finding out what's going on in the world, in her world, because she is actually one of the rare people who get to be paid for working in, like an hourly wage, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day or more, working for a tarot company.
Isn't that the coolest thing ever?
Yeah, it's like, wow, really? There are those jobs somewhere? Oh, my God.
I know.
Yeah, I have one of those jobs working with the Tarot Guild, except I don't get paid. I just have to do it. Anyway, but
you're loved, Dax. You're very loved.
RainbowPsychics.com and Rainbow Psychics on the Facebook. If you want to get a great reading, or if you are a psychic, you might want to contact Dax through Rainbow Psychics.
Yeah, and, you can contact me, DaxHasYourNumber.com. It'll take you right to my page on Rainbow Psychics, DaxHasYourNumber.com. I do numerology as well as tarot. I want to mention that our Tarot Guild group on Facebook broke 1,100 members, and it's been blowing up like crazy. I mean, we've been getting like 50 members at a time, just the last few weeks. It's been incredible. So I want to invite everybody. I'm hearing a lot of ruffling of papers or something. Okay, so
who's shuffling their tarot cards? Is it a phantom or is it Alwyn or Sierra?
It sounded like paper.
Oh, it was you! Aha!
Yeah. So I want to invite you all, if you're interested in tarot, if you're a tarot enthusiast, tarot professional, tarot student, come over and join the Guild's Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, just look up Tarot Guild. Otherwise, you can just type in your browser tarotguild.org/Facebook, and it'll take you right over there. We also have a Facebook page for Rainbow Psychics, and that is rainbowpsychics.com/Facebook. It'll pop right up. You can join if you're a fan of the radio shows and our website, rainbowpsychics.com. Remember, if you have life questions, if you're confused, you need clarity, 24 hours, 7 days a week, we have live video psychics at rainbowpsychics.com. You can just click the Live Psychics button or go to rainbowpsychics.com/live live psychics. And I also just want to mention, come join the Guild, because if you're into tarot, whether you're a professional or a student, we have a special running right now. Go check it out and all the benefits and services you get as a member of the Guild over at tarotguild.org/special for the special. And then I'll see you all on Friday for the Rowdy Reader Show.
Yay! Yay!
Woo!
See you all on
So,
Friday.
hey, happy holiday, everyone. And best
Bye,
of
everyone.
the changing times and the spooky times.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, Dax, thank you so much. And Alwyn and Sierra, love to both of you, and thanks for coming and joining and making our spooktacular day.
Thanks for
and
coming,
helping
Alwyn
our
and
audience
Sierra.
get more connected with the spirit world and what you're doing with your reading. So thank you both so much, and we'll see you another time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
The quest for true spirit. The quest for freedom. The quest for true spirit. The quest for freedom. Quest for true spirit. The quest for freedom.